One of the innovations that Genius Spark developed is the idea of the chameleon strength. So where did that come from? It comes from Gallup and it comes from Core Clarity. Now, Gallup created the Clifton strengths, and they divide the strengths into 4 quadrants. Before they divided theirs into 4 quadrants, there was another system that had already done that. It's called Core Clarity. 12 of the strengths are in different quadrants or zones. So how do we reconcile these? First, understanding how they were developed. Gallup uses something called factor analysis. And what that means is that when 2 strengths show up together in the top 5 frequently, then Gallup categorizes them and puts them in the same bucket. That's called factor analysis. Core Clarity looks at the internal driver of the strength. One of the examples is responsibility. Responsibility oftentimes shows up with achiever. They're both reliable, they both get things done, but they do so through a completely different energy level. Gallup has them both in what you might call the acting zone, the get it done zone. Core Clarity puts responsibility in the relating zone because the internal activator for that is the loyalty, the obligation, the sense of duty, the responsibility that people have. Now, Gallup puts achiever and responsibility in what you might call the get it done zone, the acting zone. Core Clarity puts responsibility in the relating zone because the internal activation is sense of reliability, loyalty, ownership, my word is my bond. All of those have relational connotations. So what's important about the difference? Well, a couple things. First of all, it's good to know about the relating zone for responsibility because on the outside, because of factor analysis, it looks a lot like achiever. It gets things done. It's reliable. But because of the internal drive, responsibility can overcommit and experience burnout, where achiever gets more engaged and activated every time it accomplishes a goal. That's the underlying principle, is accomplishment. The second trend that we're beginning to see is that depending on the other strengths inside the top 5, it'll get pulled into the orbit. So for example, if you have achiever and restorative in the top 5 and responsibility, the person will likely choose the option that puts it into the acting zone. Or if there's relator and includer in the top 5, then the person is more likely to select the relating zone for it. So these chameleon strengths are interesting. We definitely find that not everybody relates to the way Gallup classifies their strengths, and not everybody relates to the way Core Clarity. We've got this solution for now that lets you choose based on the questions we ask, what zone it goes in. And in the future, we'll be working on reconciling this probably with our own assessment. So I hope that gives you a window behind the scenes as to the chameleon strengths and the chart that we create that maps those, what zones they could likely be in. Take care.